See, it's not just me talking about that the Detroit Lions need a pass rusher. Every website, ESPN, the 33rd team, you name it, NFL.com, they know what the Detroit Lions need. The answer is, does Brad Holmes know, and what will he do about it? Hey, don't hate me. I'm just a messenger. And I'm giving you the message that Joey Bosa, I wish it was Nick Bosa. Joey Bosa has been named a potential fit for the Detroit Lions, and that the Detroit Lions could be a landing spot for pass rusher veteran Joey Bosa, the brother to Nick Bosa. Let's take a look at the 33rdteam.com, and here's what they had to say. The Lions even made the deadline trade for Zadarius Smith, who had a solid impact through 9 games, generating 40 pressures. However, there were still some limitations for the 32-year-old edge, who could start to slow down with age sooner instead of later. Well, dang. Even if Smith continues to play at a high level, edge depth should be a priority for Detroit this offseason, especially with Marcus Davenport hitting free agency. The Lions have $55 million in cap space to work with before cuts and restructures and before the increase. So taking a swing on a starting caliber edge on the other side of Hutchinson could do a lot of good for an already talented defense. Well, I do agree there that the Detroit Lions are going to need depth. We don't know what's going to happen with Levi. We don't know what the Detroit Lions are going to do with Marcus Davenport. Now, I would not be surprised in any capacity if they re-sign Marcus Davenport, if they re-sign Levi. I saw Levi's market value and it's insane, so I'm not sure about that. But this is one thing. Brad Holmes likes him injured. He likes him over 30, and he likes him cheap. Here's the thing. Let's take a look at Joey Bosa stats. You know what's funny? Y'all be getting mad at me because I say it. Shout out to my guy, Don Burr. Been rocking with me for a while. Always teases me about anybody who gets cut from the Detroit Lions, and he would be, or gets cut coming to the Detroit Lions, he would be correct. But the thing about this year that makes it different from last year is for the 3 years of this channel being in existence, I have stated my case about the pass rusher. Most of you guys, well, not most, because that would be a broad statement, but continue to get ridiculed in the comment section, ridiculed on Reddit and other places about my nonstop complaining about a specific position. And turns out that I was right. So this year, you're getting bombarded. I will not stop. And I am not talking about Super Bowl, anything else, until I see what Brad Holmes does with this defensive line. But let's take a look at Joey Bosa's stats. 6'5", so he's prototypical edge rusher size. He's 280 pounds. Cannot believe that this dude is 29 years old. Seems like he's been in the league for 20 years. But he'll be 30 before the start of the season. Again, a Brad Holmes type of guy. He is active. He was funny because his brother was picked 2nd overall in 2019, and he was picked 3rd overall in 2016. Last year, had 5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. The thing about Bosa is if he can stay healthy, he can be impactful. Let's take a look at, that's crazy to think the year he was drafted was the last year of the missed San Diego Chargers. LA Chargers does not sound the same. Every time I see LAC, I think of the Clippers. The San Diego Chargers, I wish they would go back to that. This dude here, healthy, is not something that is in his vocabulary. However, his last season, 2024, he played the same amount of games that he played the previous 2 seasons with 14. The year before that, 16. Man, so he has never played a 17-game season. 17-game season has been around for a few years now, and he has not played a 17-game season. Has 91 sacks in his career, and he is going on what I believe to be year 10, all under the age of 30, which is insane to me. Now, you might be wondering, is the Chargers going to move on from him? Yes, they are. They're going to move on from both him and I believe Khalil Mack is a free agent. But Joey Bosa is actually under contract. But here's why the LA Chargers will most definitely be moving on from Joey Bosa. In 2024, Joey Bosa signed a 2-year contract worth $40 million. You might be remembering there were some things Here it is right here on March 14th. There was some talk when free agency first started that they could be restructuring or cutting. Both him and Khalil Mack were both potential salary cap casualties. But this year, Joey will definitely be one, including a $7 million signing bonus with $15 million guaranteed and an average annual salary of $20 million. But here's the key. In 2025, Bosa will earn a base salary of $13 million, a roster bonus of $12 million, while carrying a cap hit of $36 and a dead cap value of $11 million. And as you can scroll down here, the Chargers had a potential out after last year heading into 2025, and they are going to take that out. I do not see them keeping him here. Now, could he come to the Detroit Lions? Perhaps. He really could. He could come here. This is Brad Holmes. This is his thing. This is right up his alley. I personally would prefer Khalil Mack. He's got a healthier track record. I think he would be more effective, but I wouldn't be surprised if we get any of the, I'm not going to say has been, but I'm not going to say washed because I don't think he's washed. Any of the less than premier pass rushers. We know that the premier guys are really not available. There are a few that are available, Josh Sweat, those guys. I just don't know if Brad is going to open the pockets for that guy. We all want the unicorn, Max Crosby or Myles Garrett. We would settle for Max Crosby. We would love a trade with Trey Hendrickson, things like that. Some guys are on the table via trade. Some guys are not. Some people are free agents, and they're going to be about 5 or 6 guys. Azeez Ojulari, we talked about Josh. There are going to be a couple of guys. I think even Khalil Mack is in that free agent category that could be a benefit to the Detroit Lions. But will Brad Holmes make that type of move? If you look at the defensive line track record, the most he's put on there is DJ Reader. He gave DJ Reader $20+ million for 2 years. DJ's going into the second year of that deal. Outside of that, he has not really addressed the edge. Zadarius Smith is the highest paid edge rusher that we have opposite Aiden. And they're talking about cutting him to re-sign him and all this other nonsense. So while I don't think that Zadarius is not going to be part of this team in 2025, I think that we could use the help. Here's what I want to happen. I want to make this clear. This is what I want to happen. I want Brad Holmes to attempt to do the most he can, the best he can. That's what I want. I do not feel like he's done that up until this point. And I think it's come back to obviously bite us in the rear end. What I mean by that, I want you to try 100% for Myles Garrett. If it's not a possibility, I get it. There are going to be 30 other teams that are fighting for this guy. I heard today from the Bleacher Report that the Bills are, like, the combine is coming up and deals are made at the combine, right? That the Bills could be in play for Myles Garrett, which is another unfair situation. If he goes to the Bills, the Eagles, that's just unfair. The Bills defense has been better than the Lions. The Eagles defense was the number 1 in the league. The Lions desperately need somebody like Myles Garrett. But I understand. I also understand that the Cleveland Browns are saying they're not going to trade him. So anybody under contract, I understand, but I want Brad to give 100%. If he can give more than 100, that's what I want from him. But outside of that, I want, if you do something like you sign a Khalil Mack, you sign a Joey Bosa, you sign a Josh Sweat, you sign a Azeez Ojulari, you draft somebody, you fortify this D-line on the edge position, then, and you might have to get a DT somewhere. You know how, guys, how I feel about Broderick Martin and the fact that he should be in play right now going into year 3. But, okay, if I'm going to lay off him this particular video. But so let's say we get a guy like Sheldon Rankins, or we draft somebody in the first round. If Brad gives 100% where he's trying, then I can rock with that. I can rock with that 100%. I need to see more than he's done up until now in that D-line. He can, like I told you before, he cannot afford to miss. Everybody's talking about all the analysts, all the creators, they're all talking about what I've been talking about for 4 years now, that Brad has lacked addressing the pass rush properly. You get injured players, and it came back to bite us in the butt. It really did. If you look at Levi and Josh and Broderick and stuff like it really has come back to bite us in the rear end. So, of course, I'm going to want to see more out of him, whether it's, and it has to be, in my opinion, a combination between, like, you have to hit in the draft in the first couple of rounds. You have to hit in free agency. You cannot re-sign Marcus Davenport as your premier pass rusher opposite Aiden Hutchinson. That failed experiment is obvious, right? That's why he said, meaning Brad Holmes, he had to trade for a pass rusher. Now, you don't have to do anything but sign one in free agency. Like, you don't have to trade, right? You can sign one in free agency. So anyway, that's where I'm at with that. Let me know what you think down in the comments below about Joey Bosa. Again, he'll be 30 when, matter of fact, he turns 30 during vacation, right before training camp, but after OTAs and stuff like that. So he'll be part of his new team by the end. I would not be surprised if any of the second and third tier non-premier pass rushers, but if Joey Bosa could stay healthy, I mean, he would be. But here's how bad the Lions defensive line is, that there has not been one person that I've made a video about that would not positively impact our team based on what they did last year. I would have to look through the archives and see. I've made a lot of videos. All of them are better than what we have, not named Hutch and Za'Darius. And we still need more. Last year showed us that. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. It's going to be intriguing to see how things are turning out with free agency starting in about 2.5 weeks, man. Can you believe? So Wednesday coming up, this Wednesday, the 26th, the day before the combine, 2 weeks after that is the start of the tampering period, which is insane. No, we'll actually be in free agency. The tampering period starts actually 2 weeks from tomorrow, which is insane. That's crazy. That is crazy. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And as you can see from the sweater here, got the merchandise. It is very comfortable. This is a Glidden sweater. Yes, I did get it big. I have longer arms and broader shoulders. So that's the thing. If I get something shorter, then it looks a little young around the wrist. Plus, I had to, leave room for shrinkage. But, I'll order another batch or so and maybe get a couple different sizes and go from there. So anyway, this channel is made possible by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. It's because of your support I get to do what I do. You could be anywhere else on YouTube, but you choose to rock with me. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions.